And nice and dry across West Alabama this evening. 70 in Tuscaloosa, 57 in Jasper. Look at that local forecast here in just a few minutes.
And the search continues for the suspects in at least 3 ballot box fires in Oregon and Washington State. And the owner of a beloved restaurant in Northport has died. How people are remembering him. WVUA 23 News at 10 starts right now.
This is WVUA 23 News at 10.
The federal manhunt for ballot box burners in the Pacific Northwest is ongoing this hour. We're glad you're with us tonight. I'm Jabari Pruitt. In tonight's top story, the attacks are among a number of incidents in recent weeks, inflaming concerns of election and voter interference as a long and volatile campaign season counts down to Election Day. Laura Geary brings more on what some states are doing to secure their counts.
There's been at least 3 fires so far, 1 in Portland, Oregon, and 2 in Vancouver, Washington. The fire in Vancouver destroyed hundreds of ballots, say state election officials, while a fire suppression system on the Portland drop boxes minimized damage there. Investigators found incendiary devices that they say connect the fires in both states, and they're looking for this suspect vehicle, an early 2000s dark-colored Volvo sedan with an unknown tag number and missing front plate. City and election officials in both Portland and Vancouver say they're bumping up police patrols and enhancing security around their ballot boxes going forward. Some states, like Nevada, are touting new technology to better protect the process.
Every mail ballot has an individual tracker barcode on it.
Poll worker safety also a high priority.
We passed the Election Protector Bill, which made it a felony to harass or intimidate election workers.
Arizona has invested millions of dollars into securing its tabulation centers.
We have added new fencing, badging, we've taken other measures to make sure that everyone is safe and they can focus on their important jobs.
A job already underway with millions of people voting early in most states.
So get in your vote now and then just have a seat on election night and watch your returns come in.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
A spokesperson in Vancouver said election officials there are asking anyone who may have placed a ballot in that city's heavily damaged ballot boxes Saturday morning or later to contact them to check on the status of their vote. Well, the deadline to request an absentee ballot by mail ended today. Those applications were to be received in the office of the absentee election manager for your county by the end of day. If returning an absentee ballot application by hand, it must be received no later than 5 days before the election. An absentee ballot returned by mail must be received no later than noon on Election Day. If hand-delivered, the ballot must be in the office of the absentee election manager no later than 5 p.m. on the day before the election. In other news tonight, the Alabama Republican Party Chairman John Wall hosted a Q&A session for students at the University of Alabama today. WVUA 23 Jalen Barron joins us live with more on the purpose of this event. Jalen, good evening.
Good evening, Jabari. Students had the opportunity to challenge the chairman this afternoon during an interactive event, part of the Alabama GOP's efforts to engage young voters. John Wall is the youngest Republican state party chairman in the country, and he says the need for young minds and voices starts on college campuses. He also expresses the need for open dialogue regarding policy, voting, and securing a stronger and freer America.
I think college students a lot of times really like to complain. It's something that we deal with all the time. People complain about this or that, but when you've got got a chance to make an impact in the stuff that you want to complain about, you need to take that chance. You need to go out and learn about candidates and their positions, different parties and policies, and then go and to make that decision. So then, if you do complain, at least you did something to do something about it.
Wall hopes this type of event can expand to other college campuses across Alabama to connect with young voters in the state and continue to encourage college students to use their voices. Jabari?
Jalen, thank you. We're turning our attention now to the weather. A nice day today, but how long will we see temperatures like today? Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott is here with the answer. Richard, good evening.
Hey, Jabari, good evening to you. Not bad out there this evening across West Alabama. Mostly clear conditions right now. 70 in Tuscaloosa, but look at Jasper, 58. Birmingham, 69. A big variation of temperatures tonight. 70 in Linden and 70 back in Columbus. Here's our forecast going into our Wednesday. We'll be around 60 at daybreak, but understand cooler pockets will be in the 50s as usual. 77 by lunchtime tomorrow. South and southeast breeze will get a little gusty tomorrow. Be careful. You're going to be doing any sort of outdoor burning. Try to avoid that if you can. 82 by 3 o'clock tomorrow. Look for that south wind again, 10 to 15 miles per hour. There is that potential for some rain for some of us late on Thursday and Thursday night. Mostly Tuscaloosa and northwest. Further southeast you go. Rain less likely for places like Marion towards Brent, Centerville, and Birmingham. The better chance for more widespread rain chance up around Hamilton and Vernon north of Fayette. More on that local forecast. Look at that 7-day here in just a few minutes. Jabari.
Richard, thank you. The jury in the case of William Chase Johnson, the man accused of killing and Lowndes County Sheriff Big John Williams, has resulted in a mistrial. This morning, jurors told the judge they could not deliberate any further and were at an impasse. So the judge declared the mistrial and said a new trial will be held in the future. Johnson is charged with capital murder for the November 2019 shooting death of Lowndes County Sheriff Big John Williams. Now, officials say Johnson shot and killed Sheriff Williams at the QV convenience store in Lowndes County while trying to break up a large crowd. Another Walker County Corrections officer has agreed to a plea agreement related to the mistreatment of inmates, but this is not related to the death of inmate Tony Mitchell. Betty Jo Cooley will plead guilty to falsification of records in relation to an assault of an inmate in September 2022. Court filings show a dispute happened between Cooley and an inmate and another officer, Joshua Jones, who struck the inmate in the face with a can of pepper spray. Jones is accused of falsifying a report to justify the incident, and Cooley followed suit. The plea agreement stipulates Cooley's sentence will be capped at 10 months. Well, the NFL football season has already had several injuries to the head, including former Bama and Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. Now, teams are now allowing players to wear protective headgear to try and prevent concussions. But a survey of NFL players showed players are divided over the usefulness of the Guardian caps. It's a device that goes around the football helmet with a soft shell padding designed to reduce the impact of a hit to the head. Now, some players feel the extra weight, the cap is not worth the effort, but one doctor at the University Medical Center thinks they're useful.
But I think overall, when you look at the information that's out there, there's not been anything negative that's been written about it in terms of causing harm. It's certainly shown some reduction of concussion in the NFL, especially in the practice. It's also shown some reduction in impact forces as well. So I think it's an individual decision that a lot of athletes end up having to make on their own.
Some high schools have also begun purchasing Guardian caps for their players. Well, the owner of City Cafe has died. The restaurant posted on his social media page a couple of weeks ago that Joe Barger was in hospice care at home. Barger and his family have been serving breakfast and lunch at the Meat and Three Cafe in downtown Northport since 1974. He died this morning at the age of 75.
Joe was a very quiet person, but he was a very friendly person, a very helpful person, and he was always, if he could help someone, he would if there's any way possible. He was a neighbor. I mean, you know, just come and say hello, and if he could do any business with me, he would, to try to help me out. And of course, I in turn, like a lot of other people, enjoyed going to City Cafe.
Now, the cafe is closed through the end of the week to honor Barger's legacy. Funeral arrangements have not yet been announced. Well, DCH hosted a third annual trunk or treat for the community tonight. All ages enjoyed an evening full of candy, games, creative card displays, and even Santa. DCH staff decorated their cards with different themes for an interactive experience and the honor of Best Car Display. Well, the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency wants everyone to avoid any frights on Halloween night, so they have some tips to avoid a scary holiday. For those driving, be on the alert for trick-or-treaters. Contact law enforcement if you see any signs of impaired drivers. If you drink, don't drive. Nearly half of all crashes, fatalities during Halloween night in 2022 were alcohol-related. Pedestrians can create a buddy system guaranteeing everyone to get home safely and check both ways when crossing the street. Well, coming up, businesses are down at McDonald's after an E. coli outbreak. Find out what the chain is doing, and there's a shortage in IV fluids in hospital. Find out what's the cause. Stick around, we're coming right back. And McDonald's is hosting an upcoming call with investors to address how the chain can bring customers back through its doors following an outbreak of E. coli at its restaurants. Visits to McDonald's dropped by 10% nationwide after the outbreak. There have been reports of 75 people with illnesses and 1 death. The company said all the contaminated products related to the outbreak have been taken out of the supply chain and restaurants. McDonald's will start selling the Quarter Pounders again in all of its restaurants this week. Well, patients are struggling to get IV fluids in the wake of Hurricane Helene. Now, patients visiting emergency departments for dehydration and nausea are half as likely to get an IV fluids as they were before Hurricane Helene. Now, the storm damaged a North Carolina manufacturing facility that provides about 60% of IV fluids to hospitals across the U.S. Officials and professionals recommend developing strategies to conserve resources. Well, anger and concern in the Middle East a day after Israel's parliament voted to ban a UN agency that provides essential services for Palestinian refugees from operating in the country. Some Palestinians are concerned that without the agency, they may not be able to get food, medicine, or an education. Sherelle Hubbard has more.
call us ambulances, bring us ambulances.
A child cries out for help after Israeli airstrikes killed at least 5 people in a Gaza City food market Tuesday. But it's increasingly difficult to get Gaza rescue workers in to help, and now Israeli lawmakers are gaining international criticism for making a bad situation worse. Its parliament voted to pass laws banning the UN's Relief and Works Agency for Palestinians, UNRWA.
We have a population here that's on its knees, going through absolutely untold misery and suffering.
UNRWA in the U.S. said that laws passed Monday could have devastating consequences for millions of Palestinians living under Israeli occupation.
We are deeply troubled by this legislation.
Israel has accused UNRWA employees of having ties to Hamas, linking some to the October 7th attacks that sparked the current war. The U.S. State Department says UNRWA is an organization that cannot be easily replaced.
They play a role right now that at least today cannot be filled by anyone else. They are a key partner in delivering food, water, and other humanitarian assistance.
The UN fired 9 UNRWA staff over accusations by Israel, although the UN said it could not independently authenticate Israel's allegation that those handful of employees were actually involved in Hamas's October 7th attacks. One 70-year-old said, "We survive off the agency since 1948. The agency has been spending on us. All of our medicine comes from UNRWA, all our flour." I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
And all dry for our Wednesday. Temperatures starting off quite nice in the morning, getting a bit warmer in the afternoon. More on your local forecast up next. Hear my forecast every day on 96.1 The Blessing. And it is a nice evening across West Alabama. Here's a live view from Bryant-Denny Stadium here in Tuscaloosa, and looking off towards a northwest direction back towards the Tuscaloosa National Airport. Temperature right now at 70 here in the Tuscaloosa area. Still pretty warm night out there. 80 this afternoon. That is our formal high for the day. The average for this day, just for perspective, at 72. The average low at 48. We're certainly well above that. Nowhere near the records, but certainly a warm day across central Alabama. And look at Doppler radar. Things all quiet for tonight across central Alabama. Temperatures, though, vary quite a bit. Again, 70 in Tuscaloosa. Demopolis 70, but cooler pockets like Haleyville 61 now. And again, out there across central Alabama tonight, temperatures will gradually come down, though. And again, we'll put on the satellite and radar and show you skies are clear all across the region. No rain and no chance for rain for tonight. So we've got plans outdoors. Leave the umbrella at home. You are not going to need that. And for the kiddos heading to the bus stop tomorrow morning, there may be some areas of fog and spots. I don't think it's going to be overly widespread. Temperature around 60 at daybreak. We warm up quickly by the afternoon, up to 82. Calling it very warm. A mix of clouds and sun, occasionally mostly sunny for our Wednesday. Here's that complete forecast for our Wednesday lunchtime, 77. And one thing you'll notice tomorrow, a breezy wind, kind of like today, could gust up to 15 miles per hour tomorrow. But out there, you'll notice that wind a little gusty in the afternoon hours, 82 here. but dry weather will likely stick with us for our Wednesday. So what about Halloween for our Thursday? We've got plans out and about for the trick-or-treaters. Here's that forecast: 5 o'clock, 80 degrees, 75 at 7, 9 o'clock, 70. And again, the potential for a few showers in spots, but it's not going to rain everywhere. Some of us getting a quick little shower, mainly for our northwest counties. Now, Drought Monitor, we're going to get a brand new update Thursday morning. We'll post that on our social media platforms, and that does come out. But again, still got the moderate to even a few areas of severe drought across central Alabama. We need the rain badly, so we're going to get it. This is our model data. Tonight, no, not at all. And even tomorrow, most likely no rain at all. There may be a brief sprinkle or shower somewhere out there for Wednesday. But in terms of rain chances, looking pretty low. Let's go into Thursday. And again, much of the day dry, but here's your batch of showers coming in Thursday evening. So for trick-or-treaters, mainly near and west of Tuscaloosa, northwest of Demopolis, west of Jasper, there could be some showers. So plan accordingly. May need to have the umbrella nearby. Most of this holds off until after dark. And again, our forecast rain chance 30% on Thursday, up to 40% for Thursday night. Then dry weather moving back in, heading into the weekend. So it is going to turn a bit warmer during the daytime, and really consistent temperatures. We'll have those pleasant overnight lows with quite warm daytime highs here, as we'll top out in the lower 80s over the next several days. And again, the coolest day, I guess you could say, is on Friday, but even then pretty mild. We'll be in the low 60s at night. And don't forget about the time change over the weekend. We go back into standard time, get out of daylight saving time, Jabari. So that means you set your clocks back an hour. And, you know, most of us have these smartphones now. You don't have to worry about Jabari, but, you know, you still got the microwave, you know, your car, your vehicle. Most of them still have the old analog clocks and just have to change those. And also good advice, though, check your smoke detectors. We often tell people to add carbon monoxide detectors. Good chance to do that, and check those batteries.
All right, Richard, thank you. Well, Gary Harris is standing by with a look at what's coming up in sports. Gary.
Yeah, hey guys, we got Kalen DeBoer talking about for Alabama, there's no margin for error. Every game is win or there's going to be no college football playoff. And former Alabama offensive tackle Cam Robinson has a new NFL team. He's been traded. Find out where the former Jacksonville Jaguars headed next in WVUA 23 Sports. And good evening, I'm Gary Harris. We've got a busy night of sports, so let's get right to it. Alabama football has posted a 6-2 record through its first 8 games this season, and the margin for error because of those 2 losses, gone. Another loss, and Alabama's really going to have no shot at making the college football playoff. Head coach Kalen DeBoer acknowledges that and says that really every game now from here on out beginning with LSU on November 9th in Baton Rouge, is a must-win.
Yeah, that's the way we're looking at every single one of them. Got to be comfortable being uncomfortable, and we preach that just as far as emphasizing strain, when it comes to just what we do every day, no matter what the situation is. But, now we're really in that moment, and, I thought we passed the first test as far as it being in that kind of time of being uncomfortable, and the guys really honed in on what they can control, and that was a lot of focus, all the work that's needed to prepare to be great on Saturday, and we took a step.
Well, WXYZ TV in Detroit is reporting that the Wayne County, Michigan Prosecutor's Office is reviewing a warrant request for the arrest of Detroit Lions wide receiver Jamison Williams on a concealed weapon charge. The warrant request on a charge of carrying a concealed weapon in a motor vehicle was issued late last week by the Detroit Police Department, stemming from a traffic stop on October the 8th. The warrant request was made after an internal affairs investigation was opened after WXYZ asked the police department about why Williams wasn't taken into custody. He is currently suspended for 2 games for violating the NFL's policy on performance-enhancing substances. And ESPN is reporting that the Minnesota Vikings acquired Jacksonville Jaguars left tackle Cam Robinson on Tuesday, adding a potential replacement for injured incumbent Christian Darrisaw. Robinson, who's 29 years old, is in the final year of a contract that pays him $16.25 million this season. The Jaguars will pay a portion of the remainder of Robinson's salary. Well, after splitting a doubleheader against Florida State this past Saturday at Dick Howser Stadium in Tallahassee, the Alabama baseball team will continue its fall ball season beginning Thursday with the 3-game fall inter-squad World Series to take place over 3 consecutive days. Game 1 Thursday, as I said, Game 2 is set for Friday at 4, while the series finale is slotted for 1 p.m. on Saturday. Bama will then wrap up fall ball by hosting Clemson on Saturday, November the 9th. Alabama head coach Rob Vaughn said today that wrapping up the fall against the Clemson Tigers at Sewell Thomas Stadium will be a great opportunity for the young guys to experience big-time college baseball.
I'm excited to get them down here, and it's going to be a good way to finish the fall. We'll finish up that, and then that's the last thing we'll do as a team, for the fall. So it'll be a heck of a way to finish against a good group and be a good chance to get some of those young guys in different faces out there and let them feel like what it's like to play here. And I know we got LSU that night. I know some folks will make that trip to Baton Rouge, but man, it'd be a heck of a lot of fun to go get after Clemson for a couple hours, then turn the TV on and watch the Tide.
Well, the annual Tuscaloosa Hunting and Fishing Laws update was held tonight at the Tuscaloosa County Annex building. Judge Gay M. Lake Jr. started the annual meeting back in 1982. Former Alabama All-American defensive back Tommy Wilcox, host of the Tommy Wilcox Outdoor Show seen on WVUA 23, served as the moderator again this year. Those in attendance were updated on the laws, offered safety and hunting tips, and were given the chance to suggest changes in the laws. Also, conservation and hunter safety were discussed. And Wilcox told us that hunters need to obey all the laws and make safety a priority.
We have people that die or severely hurt each and every year because they don't wear safety belts, or they don't have a flashlight with them, or they shoot at something. They see movement in the bushes and they shoot into the bushes. And it's very important that you recognize it's an animal and you don't make a mistake that haunts you the rest of your life. So.
Yeah, Jabbar, you want to be safe out there, especially deer season. And also want to mention Class 2A state volleyball quarterfinals. Tuscaloosa Academy falls to Mars Hill 3-0, but still a heck of a season for them. And the Yankees are going to stay alive in the World Series. They lead the Dodgers 11-4 in the top of the ninth. They'll still trail 3-1, but you can't win 4 in a row until you win 1.
All right, thank you. Stick around. We're coming right back.
It's a final in the Bronx. Yankees going to win 11-4 over the Dodgers, but still trail the World Series 3-1.
All right, final weather.
Hey, local weather going to be warm tomorrow, starting off around 60 in the morning. Not too bad early, but the breeze kicking up tomorrow. So that 82 degrees not going to feel as hot as it typically does in the low 80s. And again, that forecast to Halloween, mostly dry, a few showers possible late Thursday.
All right, that's it for us. We're back here again tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Until then, have a great night.
See you.